Welcome to the first episode of How To with Jack. Today's episode is all about bike fit. Both Nate and John, who helped build my bike and do my initial bike fit over at Pine, emphasize how important a bike fitting can improve how you're feeling on your bike and just improve your overall riding. There are a few different factors that they recommended you can adjust based on your body size and your riding style to help the bike fit you better. Most importantly, you want to make sure that you're not too hunched over and you're not too outstretched. So all of these factors are going to help you find the right position. Factor 1, bar width. When you're holding onto your handlebars at what feels comfortable to you from a sitting position, being able to touch your brakes here, you don't want to have too much bar left over. Like as you can see, I'm in a comfortable grip here and I still have quite a bit of bar left over, so I could probably cut mine down more. But that's something to consider if you look down and you see that as well. My bar is currently set to 720 millimeters, but it's going to be different for everyone, and maybe I'll go down to 700 or something like that to start. Factor 2, stem length. My bike came factory with a 42.5 millimeter stem, but that's something that you can adjust to make the bars farther apart or closer to you based on, what your problem is when you're sitting on your own bike. Factor 3 is stack height. I currently have 20 millimeters of stack underneath my bars, and that was feeling a little bit high last time I rode. I kind of want to be sitting up a little bit higher. So I think I'm going to take 10 millimeters of stack from under my bars, essentially lowering my bars, and I'm going to do that now. Factor 4, saddle height. If you're feeling any type of uncomfortability, particularly in your sit bones, in your hips, your lower back, or your knees while riding, adjusting your seat can potentially alleviate all of those issues. Generally, the rule of thumb is with the seat up, you want it to be at the very top of your hip bone, and that's a good place to start. Listen to your body. If you have a tool on you, you can even adjust this pretty easily mid-ride and kind of find like a sweet spot that works for you. Factor 5 is going to be Q factor. I'll attach a graphic to exactly what that is describing. Hopefully you can see the length here that my pedal juts out from the bike. It was a lot longer, so I'm going to shorten it just a bit and see if that helps. Factor 6 is going to be your crank arms, essentially what your pedal is attached to. I've found when doing some research and talking to professionals in the field, there's a lot of debate around crank arms. I'm seeing that if you do have any types of like hip or knee sensitivities, that a shorter crank arm could potentially help your joints in the long term, but a shorter crank arm does reduce your torque while increasing cadence. So you kind of just have to think about your riding style and if that's going to benefit you or hurt you. A few other factors to consider when we're discussing bike fit are going to be suspension, rebound, and tire pressure. Those are 3 things I've constantly struggled with, what you're supposed to run when. So I'm going to make a separate video on this, but I just want to point out that those are also things to think about when doing a bike fit. Suspension being high or low, what you want your rebound rate to be, and then what tire pressure you're going to run for what trail. But I'm going to make a whole separate video, so don't worry about that. If you've made it this far, thanks for following along. I've learned a ton just doing research for this video. I hope you've learned something too. Please point out any mistakes or errors I've made and I'll update the video. I'm learning too, so I want to make sure that everything I'm saying is accurate. And if you have any questions on anything I said or you want me to go into any more detail, just leave a comment and I'll try to get to all of those best I can. But stay tuned for next week, and we're going to be talking about suspension, rebound, and tire pressure.